Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Today we'll be going over price action and placing a trade. Um, I'm doing a practice account, so it's not going to be uh, real money or anything like that. But just quickly going over what happened in the morning. If I can just label this low right here. So right at 9:30, this line right here, this white line, we had made our lowest low during the first 30 minutes, and this white line is our highest high, right? So we went down, up, took out that 9:30 low, didn't take out this pre-market low. You can see little by little, it's very slowly. Market goes all the way higher to the morning opening hours high. Very fast movement up, drops down lower. Wasn't perfect on touching this high again, but did go back down lower, but that was a good area. Later on, during the lunch hour, we can see that price still went higher. We're now in the afternoon range, and this is what we want to look at. So if we see price structure looking like it's going to crumble, we have two areas that we can expect price to at least use as support. Right, so this, I'm just going to label like this. We have this low in the PM session. I like to see the high maybe get targeted again here. But then we also have what catches my eyes, these two lows that are very close to each other. That could also be an area of interest. So now in the PM session, we can see 130 opened right here. Right, so what probably happened is probably dropped, went all the way up to here and then closed right here. Market dropped lower, and then within this drop, we also have a fair value gap or imbalance. So price went up really fast higher. We labeled that with this box right here. This is 50%, and we can see the bodies of the candles staying above that. Ultimately to go higher, and that's what we did. We left a first percentage fair value gap as well right here with this red box, a bearish one, and we can see that it did not respect that. It just went straight through. Price going higher and higher. But then we see up in this range here, we do have a bearish imbalance, sell side imbalance inefficiency made by this candle right here. See the market tapped into it, bodies of the candle stayed below it, showing a sign of weakness. Within this range also, from this low right here to this high, this red line that we have, I also have it marked with the very small dashed line, but I'll make it a little bit bigger. CE line, we'll make it 3. We can see that 50% of this range is right here, so halfway. That's also a very important thing to note. Other than that, I do think price is going to be bearish from here, but We're just gonna wait and see if price wants to reach higher. I do see these equal highs right here. So these can be, this is where I would normally put my stops, right? So this would be a buy stop. So I want to see if the market wants to tap into that first before I enter. Now, ideally, since the bodies and the candles went above this sell side imbalance, I'd prefer price to tap into that, collect some orders and then reach higher. Um, so even if we did find that correct, um, the areas that we can buy back into or sell back into, these buy stops look pretty good. Back into this inefficiency or this high. Or even holding beyond that. I'm not necessarily wanting to buy this market since we've only been going up for a pretty long time. Although I can probably get a quick scalp. It's already made its pretty big move already. But it's good just to see what price does sometimes. If you're ever unsure, better just to watch and learn. For me, if this candle shows signs of weakness, I think I am gonna go short. And that's that. I'll set my stop and we'll learn from what happens after. Okay. I'm going in. Okay, so I entered with 10 contracts. I didn't see that. But if we were to do like a normal trade, this would be like 65 bucks stop loss on a one micro account or a micro contract. Ideally, I'd probably want to target this low, which would be 110 bucks on a micro. So ideally, I would prefer if the bodies of these candles were to stay below. Sorry, I am a little sick, as you can tell by my voice a little bit. Like I was saying, I would prefer bodies of the candle staying below the afternoon range, high and low. This was our upper quadrant, premium levels. Below halfway point would be our discount levels for this range. While we're looking at this, We're gonna look at some of the big companies, regular trading hours. So overall, AI is going crazy. What I do see is this monthly candle is going a lot higher. I mean, I don't see any reason for this to stop. So we had these two highs right here. Price hit that, went back down into a imbalance, so a discount, slight discount. Still upper quadrant of this range right here. Almost 50%. Didn't reach that. Went back up higher. Another little range in here as well. Right? This one did go below 50% into almost to 68.75, which would have been an optimal trade entry, right around that area in here. So next, obviously we still have that high. If price wants to keep on pushing up, which I think will happen, since July 4th of July is coming up, and it would be a good day to celebrate, seeing stock market highs and everything. So yeah, I think Nvidia is still going strong. Another one I've been looking at, Snapchat, for a while now. It's on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. So this is the whole life. Oops. The whole lifespan of Snapchat. Right, since, well, I guess I wouldn't say the whole life, but since 2017, we can see all of price action, Snapchat. We can see that the opening was right here at $24. We had up and down movements on that month. Dropped down, went up higher, dropped a lot lower. We can see that this low, price at 482. We made that low. We created a fair value gap here, right? Bullish fair value gap, and it should be just like that. Price went back down into it, wicked. Everybody, the majority of money bought in here, causing price to go higher. Really shot up a lot higher. Then we had a fast movement down. We can see by this imbalance right here. Price was not looking to just stay up in those levels. It was really want to go back down lower. Right. So we extend that. We have multiple areas where there's fair value gap reached back into, right? But ultimately taking out this sell stop, right? This low, right? And then we can also see that we have relative equal highs right here. these are going to be our buy stops, but since they're relative equal, we're going to name it like that. So we have multiple highs on the monthly chart, 3 consecutive months where we have close highs, right? And then another 3 months of close highs right there. So there's a bunch of liquidity built up in here, totaling around 6 months. So that's a good amount. You know, we have all-time highs, which there might not be a bunch of liquidity, but within this high, we also have an imbalance that price will likely want to balance out. Right, so we're looking at this now. So if we can look at a weekly chart, right, we can see, excuse me, we can see we have this imbalance here on the downside. We can see price tapped into it, went back down lower, tapped above it, closed down and pretty much right below it. Most traders would think that this is a continuation down, following this trend line, filling this imbalance that's bearish, ultimately just for this candle to really move up higher. This is our first weekly bullish fair value gap that we've had since going down a lot. We can see the bodies of the candles closing above it. So if this wants to continue higher, that would be good. Let's see, I don't really have an order block. An order block would just be for a bearish or a bullish order block, so one that's like positive. It's the last down close candle, so we can see this one's down close or bearish or negative. It's going down, down, down. This is the last one that went down, and this is the last one that went down because we had a strong reaction higher. So we can just label that. So here my interest would be whether if it wants to reach into this fair value gap. The first fair value gap that appears during this 30 minutes, right? That's like a magnet. If it does not, obviously we can just reverse whenever it wants to. You know, there's other fair value gaps, order blocks, just liquidity. But I want to see whether how and whether price wants to use this as rejection zone, I guess. The other one I want to take a look at is AMD. So AMD has been going crazy, and I usually don't like to talk about my personal stocks and stuff, but I remember sending something to my friend when AMD was going on this candle. And I don't have the same chart that I sent him, but I do remember sending him this. That AMD, you know, has been going down for quite a while. But I think, you know, it's undervalued at that price, which was like around 80 bucks, 85 bucks. I remember telling him something like, hey, you know, AMD's like 85 bucks, 80 bucks right now. It'd be a big steal if you were able to get it at that price. And even if you just only wanted to sell at all-time highs, let's say best case scenario, you got at 80 bucks. 80 to 227 is almost a 3x, right? And a Roth IRA, that's tax-free. And I personally also bought, but I didn't buy as much as I wanted. But still, you know, I think that's the fun part in this, finding undervalued stocks. Would I say this is overvalued? Not necessarily overvalued, but definitely expensive now. So I'd be careful on that. We do have a volume imbalance there. Very big gap there that has yet to be filled. But if we go on a daily chart, right, we can see a lot of price movements just jumping up higher. So we can see it's quickly to go somewhere, right? So we have this very tight trend line going as well. And we're still on that trend line, so the sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. I would just say, I recommend don't try to fight the current. Don't try to predict the highest high. If anything, just ride the wave, and until it shows you signs of no longer, then you can probably switch. But you can see we still have that trend line, so far I'm not gonna try to do anything. But if you take a look at this as well, let's do like a 1 minute chart. Let's see what it looks like on a 1 minute. Right, so if we look to the left, I guess we do have relative equal highs here. We had this pre-market, not even pre-market, yesterday's high. Guess that's what we were going for, yesterday's high at 355. But we can see the market opened, right, dropped down, went up higher, created this high, created some liquidity. I guess trapping traders in there, slowly losing their, I'm guessing if this were options, their what do you call it? What do you call that? wouldn't say like delta or like anything like that, but pretty much like if they were to go along here, they'd lose a good amount of money since number one is going down and their contract time decay is losing money as well, especially if they did um expiration for today. But afterwards we can see that I don't think we took out this high, so if we look at this candle right here, this low, 486 and 83 cents. So 486, right? So we did. So this one's 80 cents, this one's 83. So we took it out by 3 cents, and quickly next candle just shot up higher. Price targeted these buyers, or these shorts, what I would really mean. Afterwards we kind of used that high as support, taking out this high right here, right? During the lunch hour we can see chop just going back up and down forth. Price action, we can see a volume, not a volume imbalance, but a bearish imbalance here. Looks like we filled that in. During the PM session on here, let me zoom in good. So now we're only looking at the PM session. We can see first presenter fair value gap, right? So we have the low, we made the high. Afterwards, when that session was created, we can see we took out this high, at the same time filling in this imbalance over here. Price went back down lower. As we can see over here, we failed to touch the highs again. Good sign as a bearish indicator. First presenter fair value gap doesn't look like it's doing much. But then now, as we can see right here, we have taken out PM session lows. So the low was 510 and 26 cents. We have 510 and 24 cents, so 2 cents below it. So just like how in the morning, this one barely took it out and we had a strong reaction higher. We want to see if this wants to do this exact same thing. And then looking at our NQ, right? Top 100 index futures, NASDAQ. We want to see whether, how beautifully, price went to the first presenter fair value gap. This would be a perfect place to put your stop loss in profit. So let's see. Where would I want price not to reach to? Well, it can reach into here, right? I'd be fine with that. If we were to go up into here, I'd say that's too much. So I think that's a good spot right there. 85 bucks in profit. That's still a lot of money. I'm not complaining about that. Especially when it comes to just trading. You're literally just clicking buttons, yeah. Let's go back to AMD. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to see? Not really. Those are the only ones that I'm really interested in right now. The other ones I want to keep a secret. Excuse me. Sorry for sneezing into the mic. Hey, we were to target halfway point. Even 720 is more than enough. More than enough. That's like crazy amount. But what I'm trading is not based on money. I'm trading based on what price action should do. Right? The money just comes with it. Depending on like what instrument you use. In this case, I'm using a micro, but you're able to use multiple contracts, so you're able to leverage and multiply the outcome. But you can also multiply the negative outcome as well, which is also important to think about. But ideally, the last 15 minutes, I'd just rather see this just get wiped out. Maybe even towards these lows right here. So a good idea could be put 5 contracts here, or 8. Another 5 contracts here, and then if you did 8 up here, then 2 down here. Or you can also do a couple contracts here, couple contracts here. So let's say like 4 and 4, and then you just let the other 2 just go as far as you can, and just little by little put your stop loss lower and lower, and either let your stop loss get hit, which happens most of the time, unless you have a clear target on where you want to get out in the market. In this case, obviously, best case scenario, we just created this liquidity down here. We have this high here, halfway point, first presenter fair value gap. You can barely see that line though. I wouldn't even say that's her. So let's see. Everything was balanced here, overlapping. Same thing right here. I guess it detected this one, but I wouldn't really count that as a first presenter fair value gap. So I guess this one would be more qualifying than this little small one that I can't even see it. And also, we do have to note that this was our last down close candle before a big move higher. So this could be a potential for market to reverse. Other than that, we also have this one, right? So it's just things that you need to be aware about. So from here, ideally, honestly, I'm gonna move my stop. I wouldn't want this high to get taken out at all. Right into the last 12 minutes. We're actually gonna cancel this. We're gonna set. We want to buy, not 10 though. Let's do half. Let's get out at half. Right at that low. Confirm. Boom. Right. And if price is willing, let's get out half of half. We'll say 3. 3 is a good amount. So buy. Boom. We still have our stop loss at 10 right here, so we're already guaranteed 440. Right. More than enough for sure on that. 5-3, and then the last two, if price wants to go down even lower, we're just gonna hold those. And we'll hold this for, maybe 5-10 minutes after market. And that was a weird candle right there, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of lagged, but that's fine. So let's see. We had our fair value gap there, so see what happens here. If you really want to play it safe, we can move our stop loss here, since we really don't want to see that get taken out either. We kind of just want to see a continuation down. But we do have this liquidity here, and we also have a fair value gap, and we also have an order block. So that can all be reasons why the market wants to go higher. But as we can see, this is also our morning or afternoon range low. So right here would be definitely a place where either side can still go. Got 9 minutes left into the market close. We're going to confirm this stop loss right here. We really don't want that to get taken out. Better safe than sorry. But if I did keep my 10 contracts right here at, take profit here, we would have been out. We would have been up $1,100 if we were to trade a mini. Right, so 10 contracts is a full mini. And that would be, 10 out of 10 day right there. I've been trying to practice more, just not really on the money, but what should these candles actually do, right, from start to finish. And little by little, I think it's kind of fun thing to do since you get to measure your accuracy. Label this order block right here. That started this big movement up. See if that wants to act as a magnet. Price point is 555.75. This low right here is 556. Almost. This one's 556 as well, so both are very close to touching that opening price of that order block there. Bullish order block. The market has officially closed for the public. Yeah, I'm gonna close this trade within 5-10 minutes, but I think we have officially hit this order block. Yep. So let's see. Let us see. what I'm looking at right now. If this does want to get hit, I'm gonna let those two sell, and I'm gonna set my stop loss right here. Confirm. We're gonna go check how much we sold the other 5 for. So we already have another. We have 560 already locked in. So make sure that's right at the high right there. So in other words, we already have 1172.50. No, $1,182.50 already locked in, right? And that's if we were to get stopped out. Right, so if our buy limits get hit and we sell 2 more down lower, then we'd be looking much more than just 1182. So we'll just keep it like this and keep on watching it. Alright. Well, as you guys can see, very unfortunate that we got stopped out. We got put in a position since we got stopped out before buy limits got entered, but it's still okay with me. We would have taken our profits here, right? Our 3 contracts. And we could have held our 2 other ones a little bit longer, but that's fine. It's not gonna let us close our positions anymore since we're out of the time zones. But as you can see, 12:22 for the day, which is more than enough for me. And that's gonna be it for right now. And we'll see you maybe after the market opens.